I'm continuing here with factual short stories which were written mainly in the 1990s, and they all have something to do with the whole idea of my thinking, my thoughts here at this point. It's 2013 about legacy, summarizing the important parts about one's life from recent past to the long time ago. This is factual. Fort Young Hotel, Roseau, Dominica. They retrieved their luggage from Roland and Maria in Canefield. Maria is actually my relative, and we had stayed with them for some time and were returning to for a brief visit to collect things that were left, because we were on our way back to Japan. They retrieved their luggage from Roland and Maria, who by the way are now living in the British Virgin Islands, Tortola to be exact. Retrieved what they had left behind from Roland and Maria in Canefield, Dominica. During their stay in Roseau, the capital, Roseau spelled capital R-O-S-E-A-U, they met and spent time with Dominica's First Lady in song, Ophelia. I mean that Ophelia had been for some time the #1 singer from that country. She had gained notoriety throughout the Caribbean and elsewhere. They photographed with her, that's Ophelia. After dinner at Fort Young, that's the hotel where they were staying, she presented them with a video copy of her recordings. A relative paid them a visit, and his name is George, and he's now deceased. In fact, that relative is my elder brother, and he was officially a native of Antigua. He had been living in Dominica for most of his life. Now moving on to Tortola, where we stayed at this wonderful resort, Long Bay Beach Resort. The next day, a Sunday, after breakfast, they made their way by taxi to the pier, P-I-E-R, from where the ferry made regular round trips to the neighboring sister islands, Virgin Gorda and Jos Van Dyke. They chose Virgin Gorda. They purchased round-trip tickets and shortly after boarded. It was a rough crossing, and the time taken to complete the journey was longer than they had anticipated. On arriving, they soon realized that it would be impractical for them to explore the exterior of Virgin Gorda given the planned duration of their stay. They restricted their exploring to the periphery, wandering around aimlessly close to surf and occasionally venturing into calm sky blue sea to wet their feet. Much later, they regretted not purchasing swimwear because the condition was ideal for non-swimmers. On the return journey, after disembarking from the ferry, they took a cab back to the Long Bay Beach Resort in Tortola Tortola is spelled Tortola. As soon as they returned, they started to pack and prepare for their flight back to St. Kitts the following day. St. Kitts being the sister island of Nevis, and they both form a union which makes them technically a country on their own, a two-island state. Now, how about the Cayman Islands? That was also where I found myself in 1994. The hotel they checked in to in Cayman Islands was undergoing refurbishing. They weren't pleased that workmen were working immediately outside the door to their room. They remained tight-lipped, suppressing what they were feeling. The alternative to the interior of the Treasure Island Resort was outside. They strolled to nearby hotels, the Sheraton, the Holiday Inn and others, realizing if their choice of hotel had been different, their first impressions of the Cayman Islands would have been the same as that of Montego Bay, Jamaica.